ngathi umcimbi welanduka upopular wethu. So Ulumka Toto Uti, I would agree only to one ex that I have. He was just a perfect partner and loved genuinely. Unfortunately, we had to separate, and this was due to big, terrible issues that they had. And then Uma said again, is not offering any sort of,
I
of
want
their own. Yeah.
Anguyena.
And then up in the OT, but in my case, we do not have unfinished business. But I would agree to him in any case. That's kind of strange. So no unfinished business, but apparently this guy was a good guy. So lumka lumfana wayiphethe kahle, irrespective of what happened between the two of you, such that you feel in dobana if ebenobuya azothi fondini masenze umntana, you would actually agree without even a fight.
Yeah.
Spoke. What's your take?
My take, it is differently. If I was not in a relationship, ne,
Yeah.
and I was in that that question was posed to me, or that request was posed to me, and I was in a space whereby you know what, if we that's first, let's get married. Okay?
Yeah. Yes, I don't know. This it's a tall order now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, like if unomdu, then what is your story? Like, like let's first chop down now. Like, let's put all the cards on the table. Yeah, I understand. And now ufuna lendo, mnandi free. I'm not with anyone.
So the terms of actually going into this thing for you
would
is that
be
for the chat, we
yes.
can't just make
Yes.
babies and then
Yes.
So
Because
there's
xa ungafuna ukuba nomntana nalo naye, ingxaki ingxaki between the two of you. Obviously, I'm only gonna hear his side of the story and half of the side of the other person's story, which I'll probably never get to hear.
Yeah.
So I think if I had that ex, that everything was fine, because to me, unfinished business is a very certain, it's a wide gate, because I like unfinished would be okay, relationship yaphela before, like was cut short because of certain events, or one moved to another province or to another country, whatever the unfinished business that there is. But yeah, that's where I would stand if I was in that position and I was single. I was not in a relationship with anyone.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, I think for me, the terms have to be very clear from the beginning.
Yes.
So what you're saying in terms of funding maschate, really that's part of the terms some women would actually make. If you want to do this, then these are my terms.
Yeah.
I doubt that there's someone who would just agree, okay, let's have a child, and then
no, it doesn't. What's
the meaning of that?
And
what
also,
does this mean, and where is it taking us? And also, okay,
yes.
Nendo's the age, ke omnye ufumanisa uba hayi no seliqhubile ngoku noko. Mhlawumbi ke if akunamntu but sewuqhubile and you still, we know Janet Jackson did it, so now again you can still do it,
Yeah, no, of course,
so
if you're in your 40s and above. Yeah, well,
it's possible.
Yeah, it's possible. And I always say, my friend always like laughs at me. I'm like, that wasn't really ex. And Yani, I haven't. So it would take a very special one if I was, if ebekula boxer matches engilamcingo oyi-1 ufit like uphaya and bayabona ke wena wayespecial and azange kubekho mathayi-thayi phaa qha. It's just that we were too young, or I had to move, or they had to move, and we lost contact. And then, we still, when we meet or we bump into each other, there's no bad blood. Hey, why not? If you are able to, you're in a position whereby you can entertain that, But if you're in a fulfilling, committed relationship and you get that, it's something that one shouldn't entertain.
Yeah. Okay, guys, that's our relationship discussion. So I think at the end of the day is you do what you feel it's right for you, but also do not allow yourself to be entrapped in a situation that you would regret later on. So
Mm.
I think that's also very important. So whilst it may not necessarily be something that you oichasileyo,
Yeah.
but at the same time, how it comes about is very
Mm.
important,
Mm.
and what it means to you. So you have to be sober, because these things ziyenzeka sometimes nyange. Some people are in a desperate situation,
Mm.
or maybe this guy is also taking advantage of you
Mm.
because he knows that I when gogo amfela, yabo,
Mm.
even though
Mm.
Wakshia and all of that jazz. So
Yes.
there's just too many things to consider
No,
before
a lot.
you can actually make that decision. So
Yes.
the time now is 3:06, and we are closing this chapter. But if you want to comment, you can continue with that on Facebook, and also you can continue with that on our WhatsApp. It's 066 137 2723. We just now going to go into current affairs. There's quite a lot of things that happened. I think one of the said ones,
Mm.
I start with this
Mm.
situation, Yalom Fazi,
Mm.
that was shot
Yes. Christian
condolences
said.
to her and the family, who was
Mm.
shot at a Christian center. Allegedly, now we know that apparently the husband might be involved. So the
Yeah, he was
husband was
arrested.
arrested. So
Mm.
allegedly, that's the husband is the one who has been the accused in this case. Look, guys, there's quite a lot that really people go through, but I think I would beg, that if you feel like you no longer want to be in that relationship,
Mm.
pack your things and go. Don't get yourself in a situation where your kids now will have to see you behind bars, or you put your kids in a situation where they
Mm.
see you as the monster now. And
Yes.
the whole, I mean, it takes quite a lot to build up the person that you are now.
Mm.
Imagine me, the person that I am, and then tomorrow I'm found in that
Mm.
situation.
Mm.
There are a lot of people that are looking up to me, and looking up to this guy perhaps
Yes.
also, and maybe at the marriage itself and all of those things. So it's just, but there are kids also involved, and I can't imagine what it does for Abanduan.
Imagine the one who was there when that happened,
Yeah,
because she was with her child, her daughter, when this
mm,
incident happened.
wow, at
So
church.
at church.
And yeah, so it's
Mm.
really terrible, guys.
If
But
allegedly the husband is involved, I mean,
mm,
what
that
measures did they
family
take?
is shattered now,
No, definitely.
and those kids, I mean, that's a scar that they will carry for a very long
Mm.
time.
Mm.
So yeah. But we let's go into the other sort of
Yes.
in the political space, sports space, and all of that
Mm.
jazz that we are going to be looking into. What's happening, Spoke?
Okay, so the acting public protector advocate Koleka Tsaleka
Mm,
has been recommended by Parliament for the public protector
mm,
position,
mm,
and it has come with a lot of not disagreements, but very unhappy people in the political sphere, about her appointment and so forth. But
mm,
majority,
mm.
speaks. So yeah, so now it's up to the president now to sign off and say yes, he does agree and approve. So that
And
is
we know
it.
that the ANC has already congratulated her,
Mm.
and I hardly, I don't see it not happening.
No, it is gonna happen for sure.
So yeah, what was the thing that actually made the news about this?
Is that those utterances
By
by that DAMP?
Yeah, what
Yeah.
she say?
Well, she said it's a short history that she was going on about that when
Mm,
she was working at a certain office.
yeah,
She wasn't there for long, and apparently there were people that were not happy with her conduct. Anyway, nonetheless, she moved up, and then she was in an office whereby she was very close to the like supervisor or office manager of that particular department that she was in, and apparently insinuating that they had a relationship.
yeah.
And then she also mentioned that when she was also in an office, the former minister, oh,
Minister of what?
Minister of Home Affairs,
Home Affairs.
Malusi
Malusi
Gigaba.
Gigaba.
But that was cut because now the Speaker of Parliament had a point of order to, to direct at her. So yeah.
So we know that
So
there's
basically,
been
she's saying that she slept her way to the top, which I
Yeah.
feel that that's a very like vulgar allegation, towards someone that, I mean, you don't become an advocate, Jay. You don't just read a book and then you become an advocate. There's a lot of stages and things that you need to do before you become an advocate.
So could she be then maybe in a position to sue this woman with the allegations like that?
Well,
or the allegations were not as blunt as we
no, I
had been
listened to the
Yeah.
I did listen to the clip. It the way that I'm saying it is the way the lady was basically
Okay.
breaking it down.
Okay.
You know, because she mentioned an intimate relationship with so and so. So
Which is Menza Smelane, I think.
yes,
Menza Smelane was mentioned as
yes,
well.
was mentioned as
yeah.
well. Yeah, I think their relationship was brought under a microscope by by also fellow colleagues,
Yeah.
apparently.
So what does this mean? I mean, do you think in your own sort of observations that she deserves, as per the the candidates that were there? So is she the only one who is actually true and can be our public protector?
Well, I never really went through or watched the whole
interviews.
all of the interviews, just those clips of those silly ones that that you see that are making rounds. But honestly, I haven't had the chance, to watch the whole interview process to say, you know what, actually Maya Monela, because she's the one that did best in the interviews. I think also she also had an upper hand because she was acting public protector, so she was exposed more than other people. So
but also, I mean, we know that part of the major problems that most parties have with her is because of the Phala issue.
Yes, no, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the next on the agenda?
And then I'm not sure if you did receive it or you did come across it. There was a media statement that was on various media platforms, but more especially on X, where Eskom has decided to suspend operations in Mthatha due to high number of their vehicles being hijacked.
I didn't.
You didn't? Oh, okay. I thought I did send it to you.
And they're driving those bakkies, the Toyota bakkies, that are in demand in that area. Yeah, they get hijacked. So what does this mean? There's no electricity.
Well, basically, they can't conduct what they are supposed to be doing. So I think until other measures have been put in place, then in the interim.
I mean, look, there are tough questions to be asked about the state of crime in the country, as it were, and the escalation that we see on the CIT, cash in transit heists, and just the sort of overall situation where we see criminals, they feel like it's it's a free for all at the moment. Anything they think of, they can do it. And there won't be any. And I know the minister was talking a lot yesterday about the intelligence being high and sort of. I mean, we know that there's been a lot of raids on the illicit goods that's been happening at the moment.
There's that Operation Tutula.
But don't you see or think that some of these things they have been left to be for a very long time, and now we are actually at a stage where we almost dealing with a toe to toe, whereas if they have been clamped earlier on, there wouldn't be.
No, that's correct. That's my feel, like the way that I'm saying things, that this thing has gotten out of hand. Now you are rallying, like running around now. You're trying to fix this thing whereby it's beyond, if I can say it, it's beyond control. I'm not sure how they're gonna try and put an end or a stop to it. I don't know, because it starts from also in the ports as well. when the containers get there, because I'm not sure which program I was watching or which channel I was watching. They're saying that the problem is there by the ports, whereby now the officials that are
They get-
receiving the goods, they
they
get
get for
bribed.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, and people
mean-
they get put under pressure because they have the so-called illicit traders.
Yeah.
They've got deadlines to meet, so they try by all means to put pressure, and whichever way that they can get their goods shipped out.
Cocaine was found in paint containers.
Yes.
In Durban. I think also in Durban there was a whole lot of illicit goods, counterfeit goods,
Counterfeit, yeah.
at the airport
Yes.
that were found. So that is something that maybe has been raised, I think, by some of the journalists in terms of the deaths that we've seen of the boys that have died
Yes.
because of the spaza shops and all of that. And so now that becomes an operation. It almost feels to me like we are reactionary in terms of the police force. We are
Yes.
not in a position where we are strategic, and intelligence is not working at a proactive pace, but
Not at
rather
all.
at a reactive pace.
Yes,
And I think
yes.
that's where the problem boils down to, that all of the things we are now facing, they have been happening slowly and we let them be, and now
And
we
we
kind of
did.
have to react. What does this mean then for next year's election as well? That's another question to be asked, and maybe the politicians need to look at that also.
They need to. They need to.
Yeah. What's next, Paul?
Oh yeah. So just to wrap up the ESCOM one, they say that the company will only attend to emergencies.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a
Wow.
sad state of
That's
affairs there.
terrible.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very terrible. And then I'm not sure if you got wind of this. Apparently, the MEC at the health in Limbombo has criticized African leaders who go abroad to seek healthcare.
Oh yeah.
So basically, now she's challenging them to rather build.
Is that the doctor in the bomb or that lady?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
Ramatuba. Yeah. So basically, she's saying that. Yeah,
and we
there
also
must
know, of
be
course, man,
healthcare
in the
systems.
countries, Jacob Zuma has done that.
No,
Mandela
former
was
DD.
who's former DD?
Oh, former DP.
Oh, Mabuza. Oh,
Yes.
yeah. So, but we
Yes.
know that Mandela was, cared for here until he passed on, and he did make a compromise on that. So these guys, Abu Jacob Zuma was in Russia, we were told, for health reasons.
Yes.
So it's quite a telling thing to kind of say, but it's also, I mean, in my view, it falls within the ambit of the government using private when the state of our affairs in the public hospitals
Yes.
are the way they are, and they are the custodians of that.
They are.
know, NHI, I mean, I was reading now and hearing in the UK, NHI is also in big trouble there.
Yes.
And we are moving towards that. And you don't know how, I mean, in the UK, they've been using that for a very long time.
Yes.
But it's still a problematic sort of system. I wonder for us, how is it going to be? I really wonder.
No, it's gonna be interesting because remember, we've been hearing of the NHI for the past 10 years now. Yeah, 10 years. So I'm not sure, because if it's not working in the US, but with the UK, seemingly they are healthcare somehow it's doing fairly well. But a friend of mine was telling me that when she had, I think not her last born, the second last year. And she was telling me that she had gone to a hospital, and apparently that she didn't know any, and she almost died as well there. And she was not aware. She never read any news reports or was not aware of any news reports that the hospital had basically been advised that it must shut down because it's not operating optimally. And she almost died. And then when she was narrating the story to another healthcare, because now she had been transferred to another hospital, I think, like basically being transferred from a King to East London type of distance.
Yeah.
So they were asking what happened. Like, she's like, no, I went to this hospital and this is what happened. Like, no, aren't you aware that this hospital was supposed to have been closed down a couple of months back?
Wow.
So I think the healthcare system in the public sector needs to be
Jacked
really jacked up.
No.
It has to. And also the personnel.
Yeah, you know that there's a lady who was arrested, the nurse, she had killed 7 babies. Intentionally so. She was
The one at Frey.
no, not here in UK.
UK.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
she's
no.
been sentenced for life now. She I don't know this. What I mean, it's like she's a serial killer. That's basically
a baby serial killer.
Yeah, that's what you get because she would then inject with these kids with insulin, something like that, and then they would die. So you leave a healthy baby, and then the following day when you come, she's child has got blood pressure or sugar levels high and
something just amiss.
It's
because those things you pick up earlier on.
Yeah, it's just strange. It was incredible to see that
that's terrible.
young girl, this nurse. I mean, she's probably in her 30s.
No, there's a psychological effect that is not psychological.
Strange.
No, that's it. Yeah. Okay, and then another hot topic was the Amazulu royal family members.
The fight.
The fight
continues.
It's I don't know, like this thing. Because kuthiwa mose the guy uSimakade ayingomntana wasebukhosini, ngumntana wa before. Ithini kanti when it comes to succession plans? If ungumntana wasebukhosini, you still have the
I really don't know. I mean, the discussions will unfold as the whole thing continues. I really don't understand there, but it's apparently they're waiting now the final decision by the court. So which will be coming anytime now this week. So guys, I mean, what was the other thing? Okay, yesterday the box. I mean, we can touch on this. So it's a big thing, guys. So England.
Before we go to sport, let's finish off the news.
You got some more?
Yes, I've got some more. Okay. So the Secretary of the Parliament, Mr. George, delivered findings to the to the fire that engulfed So now apparently there were staff that were off duty that were supposed to have been on duty that day. So basically now the DA is saying that the people who made that security decision that left Parliament in a vulnerable state must be fired. So apparently there were people that were supposed to have been on duty, the security people, and they were not there. And the reasons behind them not being there,
sketchy.
Yeah, they're very sketchy. So yeah. And last but not least, funeral the director YasePCM Nconyana was held on Friday. Yes.
I didn't check. I didn't follow up.
Yeah, it was on Friday at Olomna, and the family saying that the politicians must find out basically who killed, their family member. So it was a packed one. It was very packed, and obviously officials were there, and so it was quite a very emotional send-off.
Wow.
And then the last one, on Tuesday, there was a bombing in Gaza that killed people.
The hospital.
The hospital. Yes.
That Gaza situation is still very intense, I must say.
Too intense.
And then, of course, we know that the what is that crossing? Is it Farah crossing? There's a crossing in Egypt that goes into Gaza.
Yes.
So we know that it's been opened, and they've only been allowed to send in 20 trucks with food and aid and all of that. So it's quite tough, and we know, and we continue to see that people are still angry. There are protests all over the place around that particular subject then situation. So which then really puts to question Israel's, reaction
Mm.
towards what happened there. And we know that
Yes.
now the Palestinians, I think there's more than 4,000 Palestinians now
Mm.
that are dead, and
Mm.
more than probably more than 10,000 that have been injured because of that
Yes.
very same thing.
And the pictures of
Um,
children
oh,
oh,
no, that one I really that kills me. I
mm-mm.
don't even want to watch those
No.
pictures and see them.
Mm-mm.
It's really terrible.
No, it is.
It's really terrible. But also get on the sports news, guys. The unthinkable happened yesterday. So where England and people were making all sorts of fun about this thing. Which ancestor is
Yes.
strong between Margaret Thatcher and Madiba, and it was kind of
No, Queen Elizabeth.
yeah,
Hello.
Queen Elizabeth.
Not
Yeah,
Margaret
it's
Thatcher.
Queen Elizabeth and
Uh,
Madiba. This is kind of strange, and I'm thinking maybe on X people that have been seeing this overseas, they're
mm,
kind of thinking, what the hell are
that's
these South
correct.
Africans doing? Hey, yeah. So yeah, it
That's
was a big thing.
correct.
I mean, the cricket, firstly, and we child England
Oh
there.
yes, good job. We had English
229,
breakfast
yeah,
and lunch.
and then of course in the evening
Yes.
with that 1 point win by the Springboks,
Mm,
and a lot of questions around the. I don't think it's the tactics. I think just England. They went there to win,
yes.
and unfortunately, in the last minute, just like France did.
Yes.
So it for me, it was never just about the box being flat and all of that, but it was
Mm,
also about these guys also pushing on,
yes.
and I think that's the one part that all of us also we
Mm,
must respect about England.
yes.
Unfortunately, they can't leave. They have to play now losers final, which is
Oh, is
yeah,
it
yeah, they have to play now Argentina.
Argentina?
Yeah,
Yes,
and then
yes.
we will go into the final. So this one, guys, is a big one. So this one talks to whether or not we are
Mm,
going to be holding this cup Lendebe for the fourth time, which
yes.
will be breaking history. Whether
Mm,
New Zealand, if New Zealand takes it for the fourth time as well, that will also
yes.
be historical, sort of.
No, it
But
will
this
be.
one is a big one, guys. It's bigger than 1995.
Yes, it's
This one,
bigger than 2019 as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
It is.
because
It is.
1995, that World Cup where we John Alomu was there, and everyone who was there at the time
Mm,
would know how hard that was for us to play,
yes.
All Blacks. But this time
Mm.
around, it's yeah, the country will be divided into two. I know
Ah,
Liv is one of the All Blacks fans,
mm.
the unpatriotic Scaramangers that are fans of All Blacks. Yeah, it's unacceptable, guys.
I but
It's
it's gonna be
really
interesting. And in Mnandi, it's on Saturday. And I'm going to a wedding on
on
Saturday.
Saturday.
So whether Seskil or not, go five because it's
Oh,
eh?
yeah, you have to come back
Yes.
early. Yeah.
So 5:30, the latest,
Mm.
got to be leaving.
Yeah. So
Mm.
yeah, it's gonna be a humdinger of a weekend now coming. So guys, that one we want it in the bag for the
Oh,
fourth
we
time.
do.
And unfortunately, I don't know with this. I'm thinking of what we did in 2019. The Springboks driving all over the
You
country. If
remember?
they're gonna come to East London and the Eastern Cape find the same situation, guys, it's time to clean up now for that ride here.
Do
Cup.
we have to do it because something's gonna be coming to
Yeah, no,
town?
we have to now. I mean, we can't have the same scenes, guys, from last year where Kumdaka and Nkukuma is not picked up. It's unacceptable. This time around, when they
Azange
drive through the
bayiqokelele?
townships,
Zange bayiqokelele?
driver through the townships,
Oh,
I mean, yes, it was terrible.
oh
Some of
my
Indawo, Nalapha Vincent, it was terrible. I mean, guys, we need to clean up East London. We can't have the same situation we had last year.
yeah.
So the time
Hopefully,
now
yeah.
is 3:29, and we are just going to play some music. So thanks, Pokey, for that. And what else?
Pleasure.
Yeah, I think we've touched on some of the heavy stuff that has been happening
Mm.
throughout the week, and there's more news that will be coming in this week. I was speaking to Hector and saying,
Yes.
one of the things that I want us to do is maybe have a legal feature where then Hector speaks to some of the legal
Oh
matters that are happening,
yes.
and maybe for 30 minutes then we can tackle that.
Yes.
And that this for me was raised by the fact that that I don't know if you heard the master's office where there are a lot of problems, where they are titled, I mean, the executor, people's estates and all of those things. When people pass on and they don't have a will, there's a lot of fraud that happens around that space. And
Yes.
would want to touch on that particular subject with one of these days. And partly for me, the other thing is these legal cases, it's kind of been boring. I can't even watch these ones. I mean, this is unlike the blockbuster we had with Oscar Pistorius and all.
Yes.
These ones with the Mayua case, I mean, these
There's
guys, everyone.
that audio, that recording that might be inadmissible.
Yeah, it's already inadmissible. But I mean, the lawyers and all, it's uninteresting.
It's a
Even the prosecutors, guys. I mean, I don't know if you guys are listening.
Also,
to something and make this case interesting.
Also, not Julius was in town for his case.
He's, Julius, I don't know. He's really said some disrespectful things against the judge and all of that jazz. For me, I don't think I like how his comments were around the judge, and that's something that maybe, hopefully, the judge will not be biased enough to actually sentence him based on the Okay, guys, we're gonna go into music. Lisa there, Maz is watching on the, who else is there? Siba is watching on Instagram. Guys, it's a beautiful day today. It's hot.
It is hot.
And I think it's the 10 now, guys, of the summer is really coming. This rain is coming to an end.
Even the rain, it's not cold, it's just wet.
Yeah, it's not cold, it's just too much